YOLO, mofos, welcome back to 420 TV. And we're going to have an exciting mini Ice Age conversations with my man David Dubai in any second now when he calls on the Skype and see what he's been tripping on all this time. I got my fire back there to keep me toasty. Actually, I was playing that this morning. I'm working on, like I've been telling you guys, to open up a nature channel, which there'll be videos on there like that, just kind of an audio ambiance. Fireplace, nature, la la la. 3 hours. Like, just relaxing and meditation. Sometimes music, sometimes nature. All soundtracks made by myself. Yes, that's DJ Ransom the Freedomist. But you can just call me Ransom because I'm just a dude with some internet. Let me check out the chat room and see what's happening. Elena, what's going on? Lance Reed, what's up? Pale Horse, what it do, man? Living in left field. What's happening? I had a video too, but we'll probably play that after the show. I wanted you guys to watch. You guys might have seen it. It was Rand Paul tearing Fauci a new one with just basic common sense, and you could tell how the establishment was getting really pissed when he was pointing out that their narrative might not be the way it is. You know what I'm saying? Shit. I'm having a lighter emergent. I'll just use the wall. Light it up back there. You guys like the crackling of the fire? We could put that back on for you, add a little sound right there for y'all. How's that? Make you feel at home, all warm and toasty. Well, we have this mini Ice Age conversation. No, I'm just kidding. I won't make you listen to that. Helps me sleep, and it's got a weird psychological thing that makes you actually feel like, you're warmer. And it's a real fire, even though it's not. It's pretty trippy. But TVs do put off a little bit of heat, so, you kind of can use the TV for a digital fireplace. So what have you guys been doing to survive this crazy time we're living in? What's up, Alex Fox? Dark Truth, what's going on? I saw the video, haven't watched it yet. Okay. No, I'm just joking. I know what you mean. Awesome background. Yeah, I thought so. It's pretty cool, man, Or we could have this one, watch. Add this stuff here. Tits and giggles. Is that the right one? No, I don't know. Let's see here. Yeah, let's check this. Yeah, where'd it go? I missed it. Maybe it's not playing. No, it's playing. It's just invisible. Whoa. Ain't that a trip? No, it's something like this, like this. Here, let me fix it. And we'll just feel like, we're in the grand solar minimum ice age, like, already. Right? And yeah, there we go. We could just feel like we're cold outside. Totally freaking cold out there. Or dust, whatever you want, Kidding. Anywho, back to the fire. Let's see here. Am I missing the call or what's going on here? No, it's only 10:01. I'm jumping the gun. What's up, Gilgamesh? I know it looks and sounds cold. It's so weird how audio can mess with your mentality, because I could show you the same video, change the colors up, and then you'll feel like it's hot and windy. Or like if you've ever seen one of those weird scenes in a movie, like it's real sad and they're playing the orchestra and the low pitched noises to really get in your guts. And it's really sad or romantic. You can take that same scene, strip it of that music, and put some other music, and your visual perception of it changes into a whole new context. Hey, look. I have fire in my brain, man, and it's leaking through my... No, I'm just joking. Where is the David Dubine? He sent me some articles, so I'm expecting him at any moment now. You guys hear me good on the mic? Because I keep having mic issues and stuff here. Hopefully you guys can hear me good and everything's okay. And there's like only echoes when I want there to be echoes, if you know what I'm saying. Right? Right? Or if I want to be in a cave with my fire. Oh, here we go.
This podcast and radio program because we need to begin conversations on how to adapt our food growing strategies long before 2030 as agricultural zones shift, affecting global crop output. But very few mainstream media outlets are talking about the most important issue of our time: cold weather crop losses. Our sun is going through a 400-year cycle, which has effects on our weather patterns as our magnetosphere weakens and the jet streams go out of flow. It's not CO2, it's not you, it's the sun. Are you ready to thrive in the grand solar minimum? Then join me for mini Ice Age conversations. I'm your host, David Dubine, creator of the Adapt 2030 Mini Ice Age 2015 to 2035 video series. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this incredibly beautiful blue marble that we live on. What an astounding day. In the southeast U.S. last night, wow, lived through some of the most epic rains here in East Tennessee. Obviously the bullfrogs and the crickets are out in the back there, so tree frogs are going to join us for the broadcast tonight. Those of you above our planet listening, thank you for joining. Those of you under our planet in the inner earth, welcome. Please send some comments in. Hit the chat board. Ransom 420 TV Freedomist Films. Ransom Godwin with me tonight. As always, we're going to have a row going around with some interesting topics and ideas. Since the last time, well, how many volcanic eruptions have there been above 40,000 feet? At least 5 that I know of. And then now the Met Office in the UK is saying, hey, they're going to have a polar spring. Yeah, quote unquote polar spring, meaning that there's so much volcanic ash in the air that they're expecting lower than average temperatures for, well into delaying the planting season this year. And it continues on and on and on. So I've just enjoyed the day getting my orchard ready. I hired an orchard planter. So out here, going to be planting 250 trees, 250 fruit trees, and I'm going to run down a little list with you tonight because I really think getting prepared for these changes is the only way forward. I mean, we could talk about all these things happening with the, with the change that you're seeing, and all these kind of price increases on the food, and how many times can you see it? But I had a friend of mine who works in California as one of the largest grain, not only handlers in the U.S., but they send an enormous millions of tons of grain down the rails in America every year. And he writes me this thing, sends me this article, and I shouldn't even be laughing when I talk, but it was so apropos for this because he and I had been chatting for quite a while here. That food prices are going to go to biblical proportions. Now, for me to say that as some dude on the internet or whatever, okay. But one of the largest grain handlers in America sends me an article saying that's a huge disconnect and a very disconcerting problem that if you haven't gotten ready, you're going to need to. And it's never too late. I always hear people ask me, hey, you got a YouTube channel and you got this presence online. Is it too late for me to start? And I always say no, never. It's always never too late to start. Never. The same way with food preparation, and I know Ransom would agree. It's never too late to plant your first seed. It's never too late to learn about agriculture. It's never too late to go help somebody put their beehives out. It's never too late to help somebody plant, plow, dig, whatever. It's never too late for that. Like I have learned more about fruit orchard design and dig out and placement and spacing and all these things with the from the granite dust to the kelp and all these different types of lime and all these things we're putting in the holes every time we plant and put a tree in there. So, Ransom, I'm going to ramble for a second here. I just wanted to, to get everybody started and super excited about getting ready for the spring planting season. We're right now. Let me tell you, I have 250 fruit trees. I'm going to go through them. I have cherries, but see, what was designed and what I have thought about too, and then after I talked to a lot of people, was something called, please write this down, continuous fruit drop. And this should be the same for everybody. And I don't care if you're doing indoor agriculture, you should be thinking the same thing. In a greenhouse setting, you do not want to get all of your produce coming at the same time. You want to space plan it. So a certain amount of stuff comes every single week. That's enough for you and also extra to trade. But you want that not all at the same time. You want it continuously over months, over months, over months. So as I am with this here, cherries. So think about the cherries. You got the sour cherries, the tart cherries, North Star cherry, big black cherry, sweet. So these are all cross-pollinating varieties. And the peaches, we got the Encore peach, the Gala peach, the Big Red peach, the Contenders, and the July Prince. Obviously, different times of year that they're going to come out with fruit. And we got the plums, we got the dwarf plums, and we got grapevines going out here. I got Catawba grapes, Concord grapes, and then also the natural growing muscadines. And I got persimmons and plum cots and pears and apples, obviously. But see, that's what I'm doing with my time right now. I'm really focusing on getting ready for what I can do at this moment to provide me greater value in the future. And everybody should be thinking like that. Because the time I spend and the money I spend now, I'm at about $3,000 to put in 250 fruit trees. And by the end of it, I'll probably be around $3,500 for 250 fruit trees. So you got to think about, 18, I'll even round it up to $20 to be generous for extra expenditures that we forgot about, like some 12.5 gauge wire or something to put up the wine vines, some 8 by posts, 8 by 8 foot tall by 8 inch wide posts, whatever it is to put in. But think about the input on that. Okay, let's say I spent $3,500 and I got 250 trees and things that are going to give me fruit for decades, plural. $20 per plant installed in the ground. That's going to put out hundreds of dollars of fruit per year, per plant. And think about the tradables. And think about what you can do with the fruit. You can make fruit. You can make fruit leather. You can make jellies. You got the fresh fruit, and then you can distill that into alcohols. And you might say, "Oh, you drink?" Yeah, I do sometimes. But the drinking for the alcohol, awesome. But then you got the heads when you're distilling, and then you got the tails. Neither of those are drinkable for us as humans. But what if you save all that into different batches and then you redistill it a third time? You can get to like 93% alcohol, which is rubbing alcohol. And when systems go down, and we saw how it was in COVID, things got all lost and people were freaked because they couldn't get rubbing alcohol. And when you're going to be working on farms more and systems are broken down, people are going to be getting cut a lot. So if you have something real simple that you're making your own medicines, that's the direction you want to focus. So that's what I've been doing for the last couple of weeks. Ransom, what about yourself, man? What's up? How you doing? I've rambled too long, but Ransom Godwin, 420 TV, Freedom of Films, thanks for joining.
What's going on? It's funny because you came on and you brought up exactly what I wanted to talk about, which is getting prepared. And they can see on the screen there, I got all of these things. So it's pretty easy. And he's talking about big stuff, planting orchards. So I have a small lot, but I'm already getting ready and I'm expecting one more freeze where we live. So I got all of these things and I'm putting all my seeds to start germinating to pop out. And, like one tray right here is like each one of those I'm going to put a squash plant in. And each one of those will provide food, like you said, all year long. It's not like one big harvest with certain plants. And, I was just thinking about what you said about that alcohol, man. That is an endless supply of necessary. You could use it for fuel. You can use it for cleaning. You can use it for all kinds of stuff. But think about this. If you were planning on having rough times ahead and, things got cold real fast, something I always carry with me is actually a small bottle in my truck of rubbing alcohol so that I could just dump it on some wood, light it, wet or not. I got instant fire, instant security.
Yeah, I always carry, you know, the old 1960s or 1950s Bic lighters where you had to refill it with the lighter fuel.
Yeah.
I always keep two of those in my truck for the exact same reason. You know, I have a get home kit in my truck. I also have a massive medical kit because we've kind of come across a few accidents, and I'm trying to do some EMT training and whatnot.
Yeah.
Cool, but I always carry a real good kit with me in many ways, shapes, and forms. I have, extra hoodies in my truck, and I have tarps in there. So if you need to wrap up, and I'm thinking very same thing. Like your situations where you are out on the road are not going to be always perfect, and if you need fire, I even got little couple of fire starter logs and things in my truck too that I carry. So we're not the insane ones. We're the ones who actually make sense because we're thinking about the things that might happen in the future and are preparing for them. Hey, Texas.
Right. Somebody in the comments even just put that a bunch of their germinating seeds got ruined. They're in Texas with that big freeze. So a lot of people already have been screwed this year, but I planned on late freezes. Actually, where I live, it's pretty geologically and even weather wise is pretty like clockwork. So I know that there's always one more freeze right around Easter, if not more, but usually just one that'll come in and zap everything. Like all of the trees are blooming right now. They got little bloods. I mean, not blooming, but they have all the buds on them. That's about to be flowers and leaves and stuff, and that's all going to probably get frozen one more time. But like I said, if you've already got a head start inside, and it doesn't take much effort, like I said, this is just one tray, and it holds, let's see, 10 little plants. So I have 10 little healthy plants ready for after this last freeze to just drop right in the ground. And outside, I'm preparing all the soil and stuff. So you could just pretty much have an instant garden if you go out right now, even while it's still cold, maybe where you live, and start doing all the soil work, the box work, all of that stuff, the prep work. And then you can take your plants that you got inside and just drop them right in the soil. And before you know it, you got big plants. And that thing about timing, last year was my first year that I actually tried to grow food. I've grown other plants for other reasons. But last year was the first year that I actually and I had overwhelming success with minimal effort out here in the middle of the desert with not much water. And I only spent about $40 worth of supplies on the entire thing. Not counting some of the city water that I had to use in the hot part of the thing, but that was only like $70-$80 a month that I spent on that, dumping lots of gallons on it. But last year I made the mistake of planting all my lettuces and greens all at the same time, and what happened is at a certain time of year you'll get different pests, and they come in and devastate your crop. So if you have them at different stages, they don't eat the plant in the same way at the different stages. So, and not only that, I ended up with a real bitter salad because I didn't plant ahead the right way, like you said. So I should have been planting every 2 weeks with the lettuce so we could constantly have sweet lettuce instead of bitter lettuce right before it bolts.
Yeah, and those 72 seed tray starters. I mean, those things are what, $3?
Yeah.
And a whole bag of coconut coir and a thing of you could probably buy compost way cheaper by bulk than you could in a bag. So think of scales too, because Ransom, I know you through the year you're going to use probably a ton of compost and whatnot. So instead of buying 20-pound, 50-pound bags, why don't you go to the local nursery and say, hey, I need 1,000 pounds of that or something? Can you bring it out to the house and then drop it, or get a pickup truck and go pick up 500 pounds at a time? Economies of scale when you're moving to this thing for self-sufficiency. And I know exactly what you mean by bolting in different directions and different times moving. So think if you had 72 seed starter tray, you put that out and you had it continuously going, and let's say 36 new plants, and you got that on the rotation every few weeks. I mean, not only could you blend in different varieties and different types of lettuces, whatever you want, the arugula. We're trying to get some arugula going right now. But yeah, you'd have a solid continuous garden through there. And also the cattle panels, they're like, our cattle panels have gone up to $18 each here for a 4x12 section. No, it's 4x16. Super It's gone up from $12 up to $18 here. But this, you're getting a farm discount, no tax and all that kind of stuff. But even the prices of the metal that are used in the cattle panels that you could be your base for a greenhouse, then you could buy a 20 by 25 6 mule poly sheet if you line up four of those. I mean, I cannot believe the prices of just the base materials have risen so much. It's unbelievable. Metal for a cattle panel. This is like this thing that you need for regular, just having cattle on your farm. People buy miles of this stuff.
Yeah.
So imagine a 12 or a 16-foot section goes up by $3 every 16 feet, and you need to ring in 3 miles or 2 miles or 1 mile. This is absurd price increases in what just like basic farming. Forget the seeds, forget the food in your supermarket. Just the thing to keep the cows or the pigs or the goats inside your fence. Damn, it's getting really expensive. I can't believe the price jumps. Unbelievable. In the base commodity farm supply chain here, for just base things like those poles are 8 foot long and 8 inches wide or 6 inches wide, depending on what your bracing are. Those things went up $1 each over the last week. I can't believe it.
Yeah. Well, I could tell just listening to you, you're doing farming on a pretty big scale, and I got a little bit of land, so I can't do too much. However, I found out that just a little bit of surface area creates quite a bit of food, depending on which plants you are. So if you're more in a compact space, you'll want to grow a lot of stuff like around the edges of your property, like potatoes, the real staples of stuff that you're going to eat. And if you're not really into manicuring all the time, like me, like I started this with the idea that I'm just going to let stuff grow or kind of help nature in a really lazy kind of permaculture way. And I got big results out of that. So this year I took this is an example. I took one Egyptian walking onion from the Oppenheimer ranch. He just kind of handed me one little loose onion. And I brought that back a couple years ago and I planted it and it grew real big, or I guess not a couple years ago, just the year before last. And it grew up to like 4 foot tall, and then it had the little weird, bulbs that it makes, and the plant falls over, and then each one of those will make a new onion. So before long, you have a whole colony of these things, right? So this year or last year, I took them all the little pieces, and individually, manicured them and moved them around in different places. And now I got like 4 or 5 colonies of these things, which are all going to put out those seed buds and fall over and plant more. And in the meantime, as soon as they do that, you can eat the bulk of the plant of the old plant. Meanwhile, you have all you need in the ground already for next year's harvest. Plus, it's going to be 5-10 times as much, a big colony of onions. And then, like, say you got potatoes growing around the edges of everything, they just keep producing. And then you can go out there like it's a refrigerator almost all winter and root around in the dirt, kind of like a pig. But get dinner. There's all kinds of carrots and all kinds of stuff. I had melons all the way up until January, just inside, slowly ripening on the table. So you can time out a large portion. And like I said, I barely did it. So this year, we're going out of our way to make more self-sustaining colonies. And somebody in the audience made a good point, especially if you live in an urban area or something. Your rooftop is a great source of water. So if you can plan around your property to make sure that the plants are receiving the most benefit from the landscape. So maybe if you live on the side of a hill, you can start farming at the base of that hill, because you know that the water runoff is all going to come down to the bottom. And if it doesn't just straight run there, it soaks in the soil and goes underneath. And you can just steal water too. And I know this sounds messed up, but if you live in the city or near a city, or you have neighbors that like grass, sometimes they water the crap out of their grass because they want a nice green lawn to hang out in. So if your property borders them, you can put flower beds, quote unquote, or food beds all along the edge of their property and allow them to pay for the water for you. I'm just saying. There's all kinds of ways to get ahead in the food game. And these other people are going to start having a real problem. Not only one, getting food, but it's going to be so expensive. And like you said, all I've seen all year this year is the steady rise of food prices, regardless of the supply chain problems. That's another topic.
Yeah, water storage will be a main issue here. So, for those of you listening, if you want to get 50-gallon drums of an empty 50-gallon drum, most times they're food grade containers. There's many places that you can reach out to because I know a couple of businesses that need to give them away every so often because they just get too many. I mean, once they empty the contents out of it, whether it be high fructose corn syrup or some kind of, environmentally friendly cleaner or whatever it is, they're stacking these things up and they get 20, 30, 40, 50 of them. And then, they probably put an ad out that on Facebook and says, come and get them, take them away. They're free. Just come and get them because we just don't have any space. Because it's not like you and I thinking like, ooh, I'd take every one and wash it out. No, they're dealing with hundreds of these or dozens of them every single month. And, they're not even in that direction. They're like, that's the thing we need to run our business. The container that we get at the end is just something we need to get rid of, right? Because where do you get rid of a 50-gallon drum? Okay, one, it's probably pretty easy, but then bring in 30 a month, one a day, maybe 15. Well, okay, at the end of the month, you have 15 50-gallon drums. Where do you put those? Landfills, I guess, but I mean, you got to pay for that because you're a business. You can't do, like you and I, we can run to a landfill and say, hey, we're landscaping doing where we could throw our stuff away. Yeah. If you're a business, they know that. You're going to have to pay for that. Those are industrial drums. So I would highly encourage anybody to reach out to food processors, places like Hotsy, which is a high-pressure washing business, and they have all kind of environmentally friendly cleaners, and they always come either in the 50-gallon drums or the 1,000-gallon. They have the metal around that square box in the plastic. Yeah. So there's different kind of totes and barrels that you can get for free, basically, literally for free from people because they want to give it away. And that way you can start to store your water. Because when you mentioned the hill for me, imagine if you were able to talk to somebody and get 10 50-gallon drums from them and line them up along the hill. So when it does rain, you could catch all that rain into the barrels and then, you could slowly drip feed it to your plants, or just fill it on. If it's a way to fill it from your neighbors like you're talking about, there's so many ways to get the water in there and then save it for longer and being able to irrigate your crops. Because imagine if you had 10 of those 50-gallon barrels, that give you 500 gallons of water. And every time it rains, it'll probably replenish itself to the point where you'll never need to actually pay for water to keep your garden going. And this is the kind of direction you need to think about, getting something for free to store water so you can do your ag without having to pay for it. Am I off base there? Or like around your area, Ransom, who do you think you could hit up to get a 50-gallon, barrel, plastic barrel from either a food distributor of food, like Coca-Cola has a lot of stuff, and those different there's regional areas and regional producers that do all kind of soft drink mixes. They always have the high fructose corn syrup in those 50 gallons. You just need to wash it out. Yeah. And Hotsy is another real good one because they're always using environmentally friendly, detergents, etc., to break down different chemicals into their inert kind of base chains and whatnot. There's an enormous amount of places to find free containers. And those 1,000-gallon flexi tanks too, those totes, those are awesome. If you can get a couple of those, man, you got 2,000 gallons of storage there, right?
Yeah. I don't know about industrial stuff around here, but where I'm at, they grow a large number of nuts, pistachios, pecans, stuff like that. Also green chili. So there's a lot of industrial farming going on, and I'm sure they do have piled up stuff like that. There's wineries. There's several stores just in my town that have big old pistachio groves. It's kind of like a main tourist attraction. You can go on tours and whatnot with them. But yeah, so if you have anything like that in your area, even chicken farmers and hog farmers have that type of stuff. So it's not hard to get a hold of those, but usually in the rural area. In the city, it's kind of hard to get a hold of that kind of stuff. However, there are options where, believe it or not, it doesn't sound like you would be getting stuff, but if you go to the donation centers, a lot of times people leave those big plastic buckets for moving, and they leave a bunch of donation clothes. And when you look out behind those places, they have all these buckets stacked up because they just keep getting them and getting them and getting them from people. And I found this winter, I was using them to cover my plants to make a little miniature greenhouse. That's why I have a lot of plants already growing outside, even though, it's been freezing temperatures and snow and stuff. I just had them hidden under plastic, and then I would let them out and get fresh air and sunshine in the daytime. There's all kinds of places you can get free stuff just like that, and people don't even think about the ways that they can reuse what's available. Like if you didn't want to use them for greenhouses, you can take those little tubs, drill holes in the bottom of them, and boom, instant raised flower bed outside in your around your house.
Yeah, and then carrying tools and all kind of thing, and mixing different fertilizer mixtures, and having, those different kind of buckets ready for whatever you're going to store in there too. You think about, you rip open a 50-pound bag of something, and let's say you use half of it or 3/4 of it. You got all these bags laying around and whatnot, so easier to store your stuff. And then speaking of something free, a hint for everybody out there, because we're planting these trees now, and the trees like carbon, like apple trees, they do not want nitrogen, they want carbon. So the guy who's, stuff about putting in these
Uh-oh. Cut out on us. Oh no. We'll see. Maybe it'll reconnect. We got cut off. It says we're still on though. So I'm not sure. I may be live right now on the Freedom Slips. I'm not sure, so I don't want to hang up quite yet. Hmm. Yeah, I don't appear to have David on there. Maybe I'll send him a message says I can't hear him. No, he left. All right. I'm sure he'll call back in just a second. But I'm not sure if I'm on the line. Maybe he'll join back. I'm not sure how that works. So we'll just keep going for a second until he says something about it. But meantime, on the same subject right here. So wrong button. Here we go. I'm sure you saw that article. I was opening it up. It was about those we were talking about it last night when I was joking around about the guy that was growing the sharks in his basement. So check this out. And somebody had the idea, like what he'd be eating them, eating them like catfish. So if the grid went down, though, think about it. Maybe not sharks, obviously, but you could have a whole hydroponics, aquaponics environment ready for the grid to go down, and have some nice fresh fish protein, which that'd be delicious. Let me see if I can find this article again so I can show you guys what I was talking about. Sharks in the basement. New York man pleads guilty after sharks were found in his pool. Found in a pool in his basement. Let me see if I can open this one. Yeah, here we go. So I'll copy this one and put it over here for you guys. Right here. So you can open it up in another tab, or I'll just put it over here so everybody can see it. Here we go. Where's the button? There we go. Anyway, I mean, just think about it. Maybe you had something down there that was a little less hard to take care of, like crabs or something like that. You imagine just eating crab meat. You got fresh crab, you got fresh catfish down, but they find this guy. I don't know if it was because I really didn't read it, but it's probably because he had endangered species and species that are against the law to have in your basement. Because this one's showing a bigger shark, and I was joking the other day, they were showing these little bitty sharks, because I think it was little bitty sharks in a kiddie pool, and they kind of blew it up out of proportion. Let me check the chat, see what's going on in here. Can someone do me a favor and check freedomslips.com to see if there's a transmission going, or maybe it was just David that lost his internet, or we just lost the connection to it. And we'll see what happens there. But back to what I was talking about here. You imagine just having actually two or three little pools or environments on your property that was, you know, growing or allowing to something to grow. Like up there at the Oppenheimer Ranch project, he made them a nice little pond and stuff, and they got koi in there, and they can just start adding food. Got a link. It's freedomslips.com. Let me see here. I will check it real quick. YOLO. Oh, wrong browser. Only you are coming through. Oh, so you guys did check it? All right, well, we'll see what happens. Maybe he'll call back. In the meantime, I'm going to turn off this intro. Only some of you guys heard that. But anyway, let's go look at this. Some things I opened up here earlier that I was looking at. Not this new tab. Oh, I'm not showing you guys. My bad. Here we go. Anyway, fears of digital dictatorship as Myanmar deploys AI. And it's a joke that our mainstream media, jokes about other countries and how bad it is and blah, blah, blah. Protesters fear that they're being tracked by CCTV cameras. Well, that's because you are being tracked by CCTV cameras, but not just in some of these countries that they make you want to feel like you're more free here than they are over there. No, they're tracking you here as well. England, have you ever seen how many CCTV cameras are up in the UK? And here where I live in the state of New Mexico, they're at every major traffic intersection. Matter of fact, even the minor traffic intersections now have cameras at each side of the street. So nothing goes down that they don't see. And have you ever felt like somebody was watching you at 420? Well, that's a video I made, and it shows that there are so many AIs flying around drones over cities, and they have been since the late 90s, to the point where they watch every single human being on the planet. Let me answer this David Dubai.
Talk to you here. Luckily, we're still connected. Ransom, I don't know what happened. Earlier today we had some real huge internet disruptions here in East Tennessee as well. And the strange thing is, I'm on a landline, and I'm on a hard connected line from the electric lines down to our house here, instead of going something like that. So I'm really, kind of like baffled why everything dropped out. But this morning it dropped out as well. So yeah, that was what I was saying. Try to get some of those really incredible mulch down chips at a discount, because nobody wants that stuff except people like you and I, to grow better food.
Yeah. I'm not sure what you were saying. I didn't know if I was still live on the thing or not. So I was talking about fish. I don't know if you saw the article the other day that was on Drudge Report about the guy that got busted for having sharks in his basement. And we were kind of joking here on 420 TV the other night that, that didn't sound like a bad idea. We could chop them up, fry them, bread them, and have them like catfish. But really, if you think about that, having an aquaponics area for different, meats, crabs, or whatever it is that you can not put much effort in to let grow. And when or if, God forbid, the grid does go down, you'll be happy to have a source of protein as well as all of the other stuff that we talk about backing up with lots of, vegetation to keep your nutrition levels up.
I did not see that about the why do they say you can't have fish in your aquaponics system? Because I've seen some really good aquaponics. Most time they're trying to put tilapia in there, and even here there's an organic nursery, if you will, of the way that does. It has a huge aquaponics facility inside their own grow center, and what they do is they take the fish and you can get that water out of that, and they'll sell it to you for like 5 gallons by the thing or whatever for a couple bucks, and you can actually get the reused fish water with all that nutrient mix in it. Then you can just take it home and dump it on your plants. But what is it with that they won't let you won't let you do with the sharks? What's up with that? Sharks, well, it's got to be salt water though for the sharks, I would think.
Well, he had a 16-foot like an above ground pool in his basement, and he had a bunch of sharks in there. It doesn't say in the article actually, but he was arrested and given a $5,000 fine. But I'm assuming they're trying to say that these were some kind of special species that he can't have, because I don't see why you can't have a bunch of catfish or some other kind of food source. That it's ingenious to me. He used his space for a whole little underground thing, which works out for the sharks because it's dark. It's probably over the species and what type of fish they are, but I wouldn't be surprised if they started passing laws that told people that they can't do this kind of thing on their own. That you would have to have a commercial license, and I'm sure that they would bring up something about health or viruses being spread, and you're not doing it right. But whatever the case, I'm not asking. If it sounds like a good idea and I can build it, I'm going to build it. And I like fish, and we're going to need omegas to keep our brain going. That's just one of those necessities that we need to maintain.
Yeah, we're gonna have to step outside of a few gray areas moving forward here for self-sufficiency. And myself having a registered farm, so I'm right at the front of the line for all these types of things. And I'll say it again, I don't know how.
Yeah, there he went again. Wow. Anyway, look at the Donut Hotel. Pretty trippy. I don't know. There's something going on with the internet. Let me send him a message and see what up with that. Yeah, because I'm not sure that I must be still on the call with the studio. Was that him? Did anybody figure that out? Because I don't want to mess it up and talk over him. So let me go to the chat room and see if any of my investigative reporters in there figured out the technical glitch for the 420 TV. So we all got lazy. Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Now let me go back up a little bit. So the previous conversation. You were the only one coming through. I'm there and can't find a stream. I don't know if I can post the link here. Yes, you have a wrench, Connie. You can post whatever you want. I am broadcasting, but there's just a lag. Sweet. So we're still on there. So for the audience, I'm showing this Donut Hotel, which it's a hotel for people to stay in. It's like a luxury resort thing. The kicker is supposedly this is all from green energy. So let's check it out. A circular 380 square foot construction of a massive 7,500 square foot lobby. And the trip is that, check it out. Here it is. Powered with solar, wind, and tidal energy, and spins around in a 24-hour cycle. That's pretty trippy right there. It kind of reminds you of the movie, if you've ever watched it, the Southland Tales, and where they built this massive machine off the coast of California called Fluid Karma, right? It was called Fluid Karma, and it used the ocean to power this wireless energy, kind of like a Tesla thing. But then something weird in the movie was happening. Of course, the tilt and rotation of the Earth slowed down by 0.0000, and everybody started acting insane. I wonder how many of you guys have ever watched that movie. It's got The Rock and I don't know their names, but Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Stifler from American Pie. I don't know the actors' names because I'm not really into Hollywood worship. However, if you know who those characters are, then you know who plays in that movie, which is a really trippy movie. And it's all about having the future now. So if you haven't seen it, you should watch it and then compare it to the time you're living in right now. Just saying. But anyway, back to the incredible floating donut eco hotel, which generates power with solar, wind, and tidal energy and spins around in a 24-hour cycle planned for Qatar. The donut-shaped building will use solar panels and, excuse me if I can talk, solar panels and wind turbines Well, unless they freeze, but it's in Dubai, so no worry about that. And here we go, David Dubai.
As I'm a little frustrated here with the
There we
with
are.
the whole connectivity. Yeah, continue on. I'm a little frustrated. I'm going to let you run with it here because lost my train of thought trying to get reconnected.
Oh, I was just showing off this supposedly eco-friendly billion-dollar donut hotel that's supposed to run off of the tidal energy. That it's, and I was thinking
Ransom, you there?
yeah. Hello? YOLO.
Hey, Ransom.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, continue on, man. I lost my train of thought there because I was disconnected yet again. This is kind of getting frustrating, and I don't know what's happening, why we keep getting cut off tonight.
Well, they told me I was still live after you had cut off, so I just kept rambling on.
Yeah, you would be on the YouTube side there. Yeah, anybody who wants to follow you tonight, head over to which channel are you using now? Because you've been censored so many times off of YouTube for your incredible content, which makes no sense. You speak the truth, Ransom, and then YouTube always seems to shadow ban you, cut you off, cut your channel. And I know you're always in the front trying to, bring your channels back on again. So
Yeah.
what is it this week that you're on now?
Well, you can find me at, again, 420 TV. Freedom is Films. If you type that in, you should find me. Diamond tried to find me the other day with just 420 TV, and he found like hundreds of channels with no content. But not mine. Hello? Let's see here. I don't know if he's so I'm still kind of confused in the audience there. Did you guys check the freedomslips.com and that's what was lagging? But I was still on the air there. Because I think it's Dubai that's losing the internet connection. No, I'm on hold. I don't know what's going on. Resume call. Weird. I don't know what happened. We'll just wait for the call back. I feel like we're getting internet attacked. That's what I think. Get Daily Mirror delivered free for 6 weeks. What do they mean delivered? They're not going to deliver it to you. It's digital. Oh my goodness. Check this out. Policeman missing since Boxing Day tsunami 16 years ago. Found in a psychiatric hospital. Maybe he told people he was a policeman. I don't know. Something happened to the guy. Let's see here. A police officer missing since the devastating Boxing Day tsunami 16 years ago is believed to have been found in a psychiatric hospital. He was one of tens of thousands of people missing after the deadly tsunami that hit Indonesia in 2004, killing horrifying 230,000 people right there. And people be tripping about stuff like that. And you think it can't happen to you, but it can. So look at it. Oh wow, that's him. Look, they said it's a mental hospital, but you can clearly see it's a jail with convicts in it. So basically they took this young guy, and here he is now in the future, because the future is now. Well, at least he didn't die in it, but why did they arrest him? Local police recently began to suspect that the patient, also known as ASP, I think it says ASIP, when his photo was circulated on social media alongside an old photo of whatever his police uniform, they believed to found him, but are awaiting final verification. So maybe they'll DNA test his ass and fingerprint him and stick a microphone in his hoo-ha. Just kidding. Is this thing still on? Weird. Oh, here we are.
A little bit strange. I was talking about trying to make a privacy. If you're going to be thinking about in the future trying to camouflage your place, you're going to want to think about privacy hedges. But at the same time, forget about like the holly or something like that. You're going to want to think about a fruit-bearing fruit wall of dense cover away from your neighbors that you can maybe hide yourself from the road somewhere, but have a fruit forest when you're walking through that you want to have an incredible
I don't know what's going on. Technical difficulties. It says I'm on, I think, with him. But I don't hear him. So I'm not sure what's going on. It says the call is going, but is it? It is not. I'm gonna go ahead and hang it up in case I'm talking to him on the other side and I'm talking over his show because I don't even know what's going on. I'm gonna look here. What are you guys wigging out? Oh, wrenches for all. That's right, Rodriguez. And there's yours. Damn sound out. There, I fixed it. It's Mercury retrograde. And so how about a track in the background? Oh yeah, I can. And I don't even have to hear it. I just got on, but is audio messed up? Is my audio messed up? I was quiet for a minute because I couldn't tell if I was talking on his show. So I didn't know. I didn't want to mess it up. Is anyone here watching on the other stream? Yeah, that's what I was trying to get somebody to go to freedomslips.com and find out what's going on. Actually, I can play the one. We'll see. I am good. I am good here for sure because, I'd be broadcasting. Yes, you are on Freedom Slips. David is not. Oh, well, I hung up, so I ain't on there anymore either. That's messed up. I'm on hold. It says resume call. There we go. So I'm on. He is not. I'm not sure what's going on with that. What an interesting show over on the Freedom Slips feed there. I'm sorry about that. There was evidently some kind of internet malfunction. So, like, I don't know who was here last night, but like for only $39.95 though, you could get some action right over there. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you go watch my video from last night if you can find it because I'm in censored land. But it's only $39.95. Just get you a little bit of communism. You can go look at the commercial to see what's going on. But let's check out the news here while we wait to find out what's going on in the universe of what's going on because it seems like there's some technical glitches going on right now. Let's see here. So I was showing everybody in the audience this. So allegedly, the Pentagon is to make COVID-19 vaccine mandatory in July. Maybe that's why they're telling people don't worry about it. You might have, get out of your house by July. And then if you haven't seen this video, I'm going to wait and make sure that, it's after the show because I don't want to get David in trouble on his. But basically, you can see this meme here. It's basically what it's talking about. And I can't really get into it. But what's cool is that you guys can read it right there. And I'll just say the quote, "Isn't it just theater?" And if you watch the exchange between Rand Paul and Dr. Fauci, you might, get tickled a little bit. Oh, and that's back to the fiches. So what's going on in the world right now? We're always telling you that things are about to change, and it's about to go in an increasingly fast pace. Not only from the government changing over to a new style of government, but the whole way that you eat and conduct your business, way you interact with other human beings, is about to change, and it's already changing. Saying about to is kind of behind the curve because it's already happened. So I was looking at this article right here that talks about panic button and bulletproof vest. Fearful law, fearful lawmakers stock up on protection. That's right. The same people that don't want you to protect yourself, well, they're stocking up because, whenever the government fears the people, there is supposed to be freedom, but that's not what's going on in reality. It's more the latter, the one I didn't say. When the government fears the people, there's supposed to be freedom, but instead it seems like there's tyranny, like when the people fear the government. But you can see that there's two-sided fear going on right now, and liberty and freedom really just aren't part of the equation anymore. It doesn't seem like. As you can see, the nation, this picture that depicts the Capitol behind barbed wire, it kind of gives you a real inkling of what type of future that we have to look forward to. But not only that, what type of future is now. So you're living in now. So let me see here. I'm going to check back with the chat one more time for a technical update. We need 37 likes. Yes. Yeah, they obviously do have a reason to be afraid, but they wouldn't have to be afraid, if they weren't up to no good. I mean, isn't that what the government always tries to pull whenever they want to spy on people and try to use that term, that if you didn't have anything to hide, then you have nothing to worry about? The same psychology is used by law enforcement on the side of the road. They want to look through your car or look in your house, and, they don't necessarily have a warrant. But, you shouldn't be, having contempt of cop or anything like that. And you should just go along with whatever anyone says and, really don't bring up your rights. That's really what we've come to now. And if you do, you're viewed in a different light now. Someone that talks about their constitutional rights is now viewed in a totally different light by the government than they used to be. And this is a condition of that barbed wire around the Capitol. Little scared politicians running and scurrying away, afraid of their own shadow. Because a revolution happened, evidently, but it was televised, but I still missed it and couldn't figure out which part of it was supposed to be that. Was it the flags or all the people running around taking pictures with their phones? Either way, according to Politico, bulletproof vest, fearful lawmakers stock up on protection because they are scared out of their minds. Yeah, did you guys see that? Let me go look that up right now. That's a good point, Max Vision, and that was actually why last night I was doing the blue screen thing, was because of that. And what we're talking about is Biden and his microphone incident, which was very good and very convincing up until the last minute when you saw the microphone kind of go behind him there. So Joe Biden, green screen. Oops, good. I didn't even spell it right. Joe Biden, green screen, microphone. You can see my bad spelling, but I'm reaching to. Google will fix it for me. Don't worry. Joe Biden, green screen, microphone. Here it is. Look, let's see what Snoop has to say. Don't worry about what you saw. Let's go check out Snoop's and see what they have to say. Was Biden filmed talking to press in front of a green screen? Despite suggestions to the contrary, the President of the United States exists in corporeal form. So it's totally false what you're seeing there. Don't look at what you see there. Don't look at this. I know some of you can't see it, but okay, so you see the microphone went right behind his hands. There's no way that you're going to tell me that that was not green screen. I deal with green screen all the time. I know what green screen is when I see it. And as you can clearly see, the person is not in the same place as the microphone. I mean, that's just video. This is not a video artifact. I can say, as a professional in the YouTube realm that deals with green screen and chroma keys, that doesn't just happen unless there's a mistake. Anyway, on to the next one. That was pretty funny, though. Yeah, that's weird that seemingly internet it got disconnected from either me or them or somebody. So that's pretty strange. I wanted to read this article that David sent over to me, though, because he obviously wanted to talk about it here. So Pope calls for new world order. Says wasting their crisis would be worse than the crisis itself if we don't roll up our sleeves and immediately take care of the earth with radical personal and political choices, with economic green turned by directing. Sooner or later, our common home will throw us out the window, the Pope said. You know, I brought you a lot of articles that deals with this individual right here, the one we're talking about in this article, dealing with other leaders of these types of things, and it's becoming evident that the idea of a merged future of not only religious, governmental, and even a homogenous blending of the brainwashed masses and their opinions, ideas, and uniqueness, creativity, all of that is kind of being smushed together in an amalgamation of tyranny, and it's like we've become an ant colony. And I think that's exactly what part of this is. It's a new world order indeed, but it's not so new anymore. We've known about it for quite some time. The problem is what do we do to get out of the situation? And as we've said many times on this channel, the only way to do that is just to opt out of their system. Either vote with your dollar bills and buy specific things from specific people, buying only things that you need to be self-sufficient, working for yourself, doing a lot of these things that you pay that reserve note for, instead doing it yourself, and then you'll find out that more and more freedom is available to you because of that. Not just because you voted for your dollar and you're kind of choosing the direction of which way the country goes dealing with the fiat system, but when you opt out of programs like buying your groceries en masse and things like that, you kind of opt out of their entire power over you. So that's something to think about looking forward. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened to David, if he got disconnected or what happened. But anyway, peace out. Thanks for joining. If he comes back on, I'll just click it and go back live again. So we'll find out what that is and straighten that out. Anyway, peace out. This has been Ransom Godwin on 420 TV. That's 177.6 on your freedom of speech dial. Have a good night and peace out.
It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
I forgot I was gonna play you guys a video. Might as well do that, right? Let me see if I can find it here. This conversation, and I just want you to listen really clearly to what's going on. I know you guys thought it was over, but it's not over. Here we go. Let me look. Here it is. This the one.
Dr. Fauci, in a recent British study,
Right here.
David Wiley and others found that
Oh,
no
shut up.
symptomatic reinfections from COVID-19 after following 2,800 patients for several months. In fact, there have been no reports of significant numbers of reinfections after acquiring COVID-19 naturally. Shane Crotty, a virologist at La Jolla Institute for Immunology, concludes from his experiments that the amount of immune memory gained from natural infection would likely prevent the vast majority of people from getting hospitalized disease, severe disease for many years. In this study, which was published in Science, Dr. Crotty showed that antibody levels stayed relatively constant with only modest declines over 6 to 8 months. Dr. Crotty reported that notably memory B cells specific for the spike protein or RBD were detected in almost all COVID-19 cases with no apparent half-life at 5 to 8 months after infection. In other words, Dr. Crotty found significant evidence of long-term immunity after COVID infection. Furthermore, Dr. Crotty noted B-cell memory to some other infections has been observed for as long as 60-plus years after smallpox vaccination, or even 90 years after a natural infection with influenza. That was a woman who got the Spanish flu, still showed immunity 90 years later. So rather than being pessimistic towards people gaining immunity after they've had COVID or had a vaccine, studies argue for significant optimism. In fact, there have been no scientific studies arguing or proving that infection with COVID does not create immunity. There have been no studies showing significant numbers of reinfections. Of the 30 million Americans who have had COVID, only a handful of reinfections have been discovered. In fact, the New York Times reported last fall more than 38 million people at the time worldwide had been infected with the coronavirus, and as of that date, fewer than 5 of these cases had been confirmed by scientists to be reinfections. Scientists interviewed for the article concluded, in most cases, a second bout with the virus produced milder symptoms or none at all. Given that no scientific studies have shown significant numbers of reinfections of patients previously infected or previously vaccinated, what specific studies do you cite to argue that the public should be wearing masks well into 2022?
I'm not sure I understand the connection of what you're saying about masks and reinfection. We're talking about people who have never been infected before.
You're telling everybody to wear a mask, whether they've had an infection or a vaccine. What I'm saying is they have immunity, and everybody agrees they have immunity. What studies do you have that people that have had the vaccine or have had the infection are spreading the infection? If we're not spreading the infection, isn't it just theater?
No, it's
You've had
not.
the vaccine and you're wearing 2 masks. Isn't that theater?
No, that's not. Here we go again with the theater. Let's get down to the facts. Okay, the studies that you quote from Crotty and Sete look at in vitro examination of memory immunity, which in their paper they specifically say this does not necessarily pertain to the actual protection. It's in vitro.
And what study can you point to that shows significant reinfection? There are no studies that show
Just
significant
let me finish the response to your question, if you please. The other thing is that when you talk about reinfection and you don't keep in the concept of variants, that's an entirely different ballgame. That's a good reason for a mask. In the South African study conducted by J&J, they found that people who were infected with wild type and were exposed to the variant in South Africa, the 351, it was as if they had never been infected before. They had no protection. So when you talk about reinfection, you've got to make sure you're talking about wild type. I agree with you that you very likely would have protection from wild type for at least 6 months if you're infected. But we in our country now have variants that are circulating.
Significant reinfection. What study shows significant reinfection, hospitalization, and death after either natural infection or the vaccine? It doesn't exist. There is no evidence that there are significant reinfections after vaccine. In fact, I don't think we have a hospitalization in the United States after the 2-week period after the second vaccination. We
Yeah,
don't
you-
have a death in the United States.
You're not hearing what I'm saying about variants. We're talking about wild type versus variants.
And
now,
what proof is there that there are significant reinfections with hospitalizations and death from the variants? None in our country. Zero.
well, because we don't have a prevalent of a variant yet. We're having one. Can I finish? We're having
You're talking about
117 that's
conjecture.
becoming
You're
more
making your
dominant.
policy based on conjecture.
No,
you
it-
have the
it isn't
conjecture that
based
we're
on
going to get
conjecture.
variants. So you want people to wear a mask for another couple years.
No.
You've been vaccinated and you parade around in 2 masks for show.
No.
You can't get it again. There's virtually 0% chance you're going to get it, and yet you're telling people that have had the vaccine, who have immunity. You're defying everything we know about immunity by telling people to wear a mask who've been vaccinated. Instead, you should be saying there is no science to say we're going to have a problem from the large number of people being vaccinated. You want to get rid of vaccine hesitancy? Tell them they can quit wearing their mask after they get the vaccine. You want people to get the vaccine? Give them a reward instead of telling them that the nanny state's going to be there for 3 more years and you got to wear a mask forever. People don't want to hear it. There's no science behind it.
Well, let me just state for the record that masks are not theater. Masks are protective. And we
You have
ask people,
immunity there, theater. If you already have immunity, you're wearing a mask to give comfort to others.
Mayor
You're
Pell,
not
out
wearing a
time,
mask
and I
because
would
of any
like Dr.
science.
Fauci to
I
be
totally disagree with you.
That was funny, wasn't it? It was really funny. And we're here. You know, I don't know. It says that there's, like, I'm on a call still. I hope that, I wasn't messing up their show. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. It's something technological that I just don't understand at this point. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, man? Did I mention our sale on communism? Right there, $39.95. Act now, and you can get free communism in your neighborhood. I'm gonna chop that up from last night and make a commercial with some music and stuff, so people can call the 800 number right there and call it. We'll even give you a free mask. And this was stitched together. It's got 2 masks you can cover up every time you go outside with the other socialists and communists. And you guys ain't going to pass diseases around to each other anymore. Because you'll have the 2-bagger. That's like you remember back in the day when you had the 2-bagger because you was worried you might get an infection. Well, now you just do that to your face. It's just like your genitals. You double bagger. You put it right over there. It's communism for only $39.95 within your own hammer and your sickle. You too can participate on shit on the sidewalks, cities burning down, and civilization collapsing. Plus, with those pesky capitalists, we're going to have to round them up and, put them somewhere so we can re-educate them and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. Especially if you're a capitalist, right? For only $39.95 of your money, we're going to make capitalism. You know what? For no longer, you don't have to call. We'll just go take someone else's $39.95. They will pay for communism that way, and that way we don't even have to use the hammers or sickles to do any kind of work or some shit. We won't grow our food. We'll just go to their farm and take their food. I mean, they're working hard. They're working hard. They don't deserve that. They must have blue privilege. Those blue people under the earth that are growing all the mushrooms. We should go take the mushrooms. We could give them communism too. Them guys down there need their own communism. We'll bring it to them. For real. I'm just kidding. You know what I haven't done for a while? Let's test out and see if maybe it's my internet. We're going to go over here to the news again. And get rid of it. All right. And somewhere on here, I think I got my stuff right here. Here it is. And let me get rid of this one too. There we go. There's that number right there. If you guys want to call in Skype right now, tell me what you think of the new communist system. If that rubs right with your tuchus in your belly. Does that feel right to you? You feel like you just need to be dominated today? Call 1-813-735-4288. Tell me all about it. I'm going to turn up the volume on my Skype here so we can hear all about how you guys love the communism right now. So don't hesitate. There's the number, or you can you can either call me directly right there on that phone number, or you can call me through Skype under Ransom Godwin 420 TV. Right there. You call right now. Well, only $39. No, I'm just joking. You don't have to pay $39.95. I told you, this is communism. We're going to go take other people's $39.95. Yep, no callers. Chickens. I guess you guys don't want no communism. I can't get nobody to, call in and agree with the communism. I don't know what to tell you guys. I know some of you guys out there, when you got your Obama phones, with the first wave of communism, we gave everybody a phone so you guys could, communicate when you go downtown and light fires and throw bricks and whatnot. You got to have your Obama phones so you can keep in touch. Yeah. And rubles, I like rubles. Everybody likes rubles. That's the area code. That's the nation code there. Living in a field, the one represents the United States of America. Because even though we're under communism, we're number one. Let's answer this phone call here. You're live on 420 TV.
Everybody loves the communism. It's going to be great.
And who do we have calling?
Oh, it's Lance Reed.
Yo, what's up? What's up? Tell us how great the communism for you, man.
Oh, it's going to be so lovely. I told all my friends that we just need to start talking about how we love the vaccinations and how we're all going to get them and take them. And it's just going to be great and fun. Oh.
Yeah, right. Maybe even by 4th of July, you can show everybody your independence by taking the fourth vaccination.
I love the medical professionals that you showed last night.
Oh, yeah. That's one of them self-vaccinating programs out there. Not only that, they'll help you if you don't know how to vaccinate yourself. They'll be glad to help you. They're doing it right in the neck and between the fingers and everything.
Yeah, they're right in the toes, and they can go to the podiatrist.
I'm not trying to make fun of those people, but, everybody's got their issues. But just think about that, free skid marks on the sidewalk and hypodermic needles for everybody.
Yeah, but like I was saying in the chat, bro, out here on the road, I don't see it. In the warehouses, all the people there for a little while, they acted like the free communism was great, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh well, we don't have to wear this crap anymore."
Yeah, so you're seeing people just saying, "I've had enough with it."
Yeah,
I'm seeing that too.
And laughing.
And I have a feeling our government did that because they knew people were going to just start getting tired of it, and they wanted to know who in the population was going to be those people that said, "You know what? I don't think so. I'll make my own decisions."
The algorithm's already got us pinged anyway. I mean.
Oh, definitely. There's big lists. Is there anything else you want to drop here?
No, but thank you guys for the farming info, bro.
Yeah, no problem. And
all right.
Speaking of that, man, make sure you grow some food, or at least plan on it.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good one.
Thanks. Lance Reed, everyone. All right. So the lines are open. We got one guy there. He loves the communism. He says it's doing real good. But there's some retractors out there. They're not wearing their masks like they're supposed to. We're gonna have to report those people to the government, to your local Communist Party, and for their $39.95, we'll house and feed them at the re-education camps. Make sure they remember, that they need to wear their masks and get their free shots. What's up, Top Knot? You know what? We should hear from Top Knot. Don't be shy, Top Knot. Call in. Tell us about your farming, because you got big farming going on. You got bisons and you got goats and cows and chickens. I think I saw some ducks over there. You got horses. I mean, you got the whole shebang over there. Plus, you're growing food, are you not? Top nut. I know you got a phone, man. He's got all the new technologies. He doesn't just have the old Obama phone. He's got the top of the line, so us communists can keep in communications. Gilgamesh. Bummer, John. What happened? Oh, there's John Rose. What's up? Let's make you a moderator, dude. Yeah. So what is it? A friend of mine just died after taking the second shot. Said second day he felt bad, so he went to the hospital. They pumped him full of fluids and sent him home the next day by 9 p.m. He was dead. Oh, that sucks, man. Sorry to hear that. You know, but there are some people you cannot, they're going to do what the authoritative sources tell them to do no matter what. I mean, if you ever watch the movie The Matrix, you know how he's talking about when they go to the scene with the woman in the red dress. They talk about right there that there are people so, hopelessly entrenched and intertwined in the system, even though they deep down know the system is destructive and will kill them, they will fight with every last bit of their soul to protect that system and that way of life and that train of thought, because they think that is the normality that they must live. It's kind of crazy. And until you free them from that system, even though those are the actual minds you're trying to free, they'll attack you. They'll go after you, and it'll be crazy because they're already doing it. I walked in Walmart the other day, and a family, a man, a woman, and probably about 3 kids walked in front of us, no masks on. The little door greeters at the door were like, ma'am, sir, you need some masks. And they were like, no, thank you. And then, so, that people go through the door all day long. So they're seeing people without their masks on all day. And that little Karen right there goes out of her way each and every time someone comes through the door that doesn't want to wear a mask and makes a comment. So the family walks by and they say, no, thank you. And then the lady's like, well, I guess they don't want their masks. I guess they don't want to wear their masks. And starts making this big old fucking screeching sound in the corner. I wanted to find what the wounded animal was and kill it. No, I'm just joking. I didn't really, but it was a very annoying shrieking noise. And then me and my son, of course, walk right behind that family without our masks on either. And then she says it again. I guess they don't need masks. That's right, bitch. I like to breathe air and stuff. I don't know. For legal purposes, though, 420 TV totally endorses wearing 1, 2, 4, 8 masks, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes to make you feel safe. Take it. And don't forget to get your free vaccines like I've been talking about. That was great. But anyway, that's all I got for 420 TV. If there's nobody else going to call in, you can't criticize communism on this channel, but you can agree with it. You can call in and agree with it. That's the new style of the world. You can't call in and tell me that you don't want to do that stuff. You can only call in and tell me how much moisture you're going to leave on the boots when you lick it. That's the only acceptable speech on the internet. I hear people, sirens. Sounds like communism's afoot outside. I'm just joking. Peace out. Thanks for watching. Sorry it was kind of a unorganized show. We'll meet back up with David and figure out what was going on with that. I don't know. I have not a clue. Not a clue. How about instead of we use a cork? Yeah, put a cork in it. Either end. Anyway, peace out.
It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth till dawn. Right now, I've got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. His 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
Full of broken thoughts.